Hi, Sonia here, and I am going to talk to you about the Beachbody Ultimate Reset. So, either you are interested or curious, or you actually are in the process of getting ready to do the Ultimate Reset with me in a guided program. And I'm super excited about this. I've done this a couple of times, and I definitely feel like this is something I should do on a regular basis, as in like once a year. I think it's really important to take that time to detox my body because my body is like detoxification is absolutely one of the life forces, right? There's 5 life forces, and that's one of them. It's a important part of what a lot of what our body is supposed to do. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things that have gotten in the way of that process, right? So when we do a guided intensive cleanse like this, we're kind of trying to reset our system and eliminate some of the buildup of toxins. So the actual, without further ado, the program is broken up into 3 parts, right? The reclaim, reclaim, release, and restore. So it's a 3-week program, 21 days, and the first week is about reclaiming. So it's kind of getting our bodies ready and kind of in a clean spot to start eliminating some foods and meat and dairy, right? I got dogs. And so in the second week, we're now eating a vegan diet, and we're actually taking supplements that are going to help detox our body. So that's probably the most intensive part. And then in the third phase, it's the restore. So we're taking supplements and doing activities that are going to help us in eating foods. We're removing more grains, and we're actually creating more of a balance in our system and putting good stuff back in. So then we have the supplement section. So in your box, you would have got a bunch of packets of supplements. And there's some great stuff here. And all of these are designed they just go along with the different phases of the cleanse. And there will be a cheat sheet in here showing you how to take those on a daily basis. And this describes those different supplements and what's in them and what they do. Then we want to think about when we want to start this detox, because it does involve a lot. It requires a lot of energy, engagement, involvement. It's kind of time consuming, but it's worth it. Then we look at some of the different types of workouts that are recommended. I generally do yoga. There's actually a yoga in the Beachbody On Demand, so that goes along with with each phase of this cleanse. But you can also do Tai Chi, restorative yoga, and swimming is suggested. Walking and getting out in nature is good. Stretching and breathing. And so really the way I think of this cleanse, it's not just about detoxing my body, but it's about resetting my spirit and my mind, right? And pushing through some of those emotional blockages that really, for me, my food habits are really tied into some of my emotional stuff, right? So I've used these detoxes in a way to kind of start to move past those limitations. Okay, so it talks about breathing and getting centered and making this more of a spiritual process. Water, super huge. One of the supplements you'll get is mineralized, which is actually just Himalayan sea salt, really crushed down. And you put a little 1/4 teaspoon of that into a gallon's worth of water, distilled water, and that will be what you drink daily. Let's see, it talks about conscious eating. It talks about the emotion stuff and the letting go. And I'm just kind of doing a quick overview, and then I'll tell you the page numbers for some of the other stuff. I'm hoping this video will be a really good introduction so that you kind of know how this book's laid out and where to find the things you want. Because when I first did this, I didn't have that direction, and I may or may not have benefited from it, but it seems like it would have been nice to have something to just introduce me to that and to show the layout of what's in here. There's some other things like bathing, massage, dry brushing that are recommended to enhance your detox, the detoxification process. There's some questions that you can ask yourself to help guide, and those are on page 32 through 35. And they're really good questions to look at, like, how are things now? So then after the 21 days of this detox and cleanse, how are things, right? Okay. Then now I want to get to page 37. That is where reclaim starts, okay? And so then when you come in here, this is one of the important places to look at, right? This talks to you about, we're looking at the meal plan now. There's weekly prep tips of what to do, ways you can save time while you're prepping, right? Then there is how to take the supplements in between your meals and snacks. And there's a cheat card also that you got, but like what supplements to take when you first wake up, how long to wait, your breakfast meal, supplements, how long to wait, meal, how long to wait, meal, supplements. So it's all lined out very well. And then you have this by week, you have every single day's worth of your recipes. Or I'm sorry, not recipes, but worth of your meal plan, right? So what am I going to eat at what time? And there's other cheat tips in here too, as far as how to prep. For example, if you're having, let's see, what on here? Some oatmeal. Let's say you're having oatmeal 2 days in a row, then you would actually do, it'll tell you, hey, make enough for later in the week. So little prep tips also. And I love these recipes. Some of these I still use today. Let's see, something else I wanted to say about that. So, there's a vegan version of this too. So if you're already vegan and you want to do this the vegan way, there are substitutions, and there's a vegan meal list. And actually, I think it is in here somewhere. I just have to identify it, and I will sooner rather than later. I think it's actually right in here, but I will come back with that because I absolutely, hey Bob, I will be doing the vegan one probably this time around. So let's see. And so we have, then there's the release. And so all of those meals laid out there. And we're going to come here to page 73 is where your snack ideas are. So that was one thing, is the snacks are kind of separate from the other meal plans. So these are your snack options. So you can pick and choose what you want. And there's snack options that are different for week 1, different for week 2 and 3 as well. And in week 3, you can have a couple extra options also. Then on page 77 starts the recipes. And here's the thing I wish someone would have told me in the beginning. They're alphabetical. So when I'm going to find the recipe, I don't have to just I spent a lot of time just scrolling through here trying to find them. And then I'm like, wait a minute, they're in alphabetical order. So that's handy. Okay. Then on page 111, you have the reset in the crunch. And these are kind of like, if you're like, I can't prep all this different food all this week for whatever reason, because life gets busy, it can be hard. There are some kind of set, quick recipes that you can choose from, and you can do them every day if you wanted. So you could do, fresh fruit every day, pick one of these salads and pick one of these dinners and just make that for the whole week, and we're good to go. So that is very handy. It talks a little bit about Shakeology. So if you're doing Shakeology as a snack, there are recipes in here that you can use. That's page 113. Then it looks at the different ingredients, and it gives you a little detail on the ingredients. Page 118 has the FAQs, frequently asked questions. And I know then we look at like post reset. What do we do? These supplements are available post reset for people if you want, but it talks about, so we're putting our body through this whole process of detoxing over 3 weeks. So that's a big deal. Our body's in a completely different state after 3 weeks. So the best thing to do is then to be really kind of thoughtful about how are we going to continue on, or at least roll off the reset diet before we start including heavier meats and other things that we might like to eat. And it talks about that here. The first week after the reset, I think what's suggested here, and I'll have to reread it, and I suggest you read it too, is to follow that last week's worth of meal plan. And then week 2 of the reset, kind of how to slowly start to introduce things in week 3 and 4, how to start to introduce meat and dairy again. So this is a really, for those that are really wanting to embrace this new lifestyle and this new kind of program for living, because I know I felt amazing the last time I did this, right? And so I'd like to try to continue that and keep it going as long as possible. So there's that. And it talks about some other things. And then you have your shopping lists, starting on page 127. The first time I did this, I went shopping and I got everything on these lists and I just checked them off, as you can see, right? I ended up with so much food that I really didn't need, because as I go along in the program, there's actually little variations I can make. And there's like if I'm gonna do like the reset and a crunch, things happen. And it seemed to me that these portions, the quantities didn't necessarily align, right? So my recommendation is to look at your week ahead, which is what we're supposed to do anyway, right? Get very clear on what you're going to prep when and what the ingredients are going to be, and then make your shopping list and then go out and get that. So yeah. So that is the little guidebook, the Ultimate Reset Program and Nutrition Guide. And I don't know how long I've been going, but yeah, in just a moment. And so I just wanted to take that time to explain that to you. Any questions, I'm always available. All right, thanks. Bye.